Hi, welcome to the new video. I am Rohit Desai, co-founder of JB Experts. In this video, we are going to discuss on types of LCs, which we are going to use in international trade. So people have a doubt saying that how do I secure my payments? The only tool what you can use it to secure your payments is letter of credit. So what you should do here is either you can have LCs have varieties because of the various application purposes. Along with that, bank comes in the mid to rescue you. So that is very important because if you go on open accounts with any other payment terms, you may don't have that much of securities. But when it comes to letter of credit, because the bank is in the middle, you can hold someone else responsible if your buyer doesn't respond. So we'll take an example, we'll try to understand the scenario, and then I'll explain you what this LC can do it for you. Okay, we will discuss each and every LCs individually. So we are going to discuss on irrevocable LC. There is something called as revocable LC, which is not going to be in your favor because irrevocable is normally something like, okay, we have done some commitment, you cannot modify it or cancel it. But in revocable, any one party can do that. So that is very risky. So whenever you're working on LCs, any LCs to that matter, irrevocable is a main fundamental of the LCs. If you work on irrevocable, then if you're like a buyer plays around, then yeah, you'll be losing money there. Okay. So in an example scenario, I'll take XYZ importer as a buyer and JB experts as an exporter. I'll be using ABC bank as a facilitator who is a issuing bank from the buyer end and advising bank which is SBI bank from my end. Okay. So what are we going to do here? How the LC works normally? So we got into agreement saying that, okay, this is the buyer, I am the seller, sign in a contract saying that I will supply 5,000 metric tons of oil at the price of $200,000. So when it comes to this, LC issued by XYZ importer ask his ABC bank, which is issuing bank, who issues the LC. So those guys are going to issue a irrevocable LC in the favor of JB experts. And then that LC copy or a draft of that LC copy will come to SBI bank, which I have already given him the informations of. Then which informs JB experts later they have received the notification. So normally in many cases the bank doesn't update you that you have received the draft. You need to check with the bank. Especially there are few banks, I don't want to name it, they are so bad with the updates or they are so bad with the integrations like notifications and all, horrible. So it's better you, if your buyer says that we have already sent a LC, please go and check with your bank because these bank guys may be not updating their system on day-to-day basis. So it's better you go and check it. It's worst, still more worse with the African banks again. Again, sometimes Indian banks are still horrible. Sri Lanka is horrible again. There are few banks. It's not like all the banks of the particular countries. What I'm saying is there are set of banks in particular countries in African continent or in India or in Sri Lanka. If you look to these banks, like they don't even inform because we are working with a couple of parties in the global market. They always say me this, Rohit, we didn't receive LC. So we have already sent it. Please go to your bank and check with them that this is the number which we have sent the draft on. Please go and get it checked. Only then they will tell you, yeah, we received it. Why didn't you have checked? Why didn't you inform the client? Because the bank also makes money here. They are not here for a charity. They are not an NGO here. They receive the money because LC transactions, whenever we do a LC transactions, there is a certain amount of fee that is the banks are going to charge. So they want the money at a free of effort. So that's probably the challenge. So get it fixed. The only way is like, okay, go and keep bugging them until you get your draft, until you get your transactions done. Because if the bank is not providing proper service, change your bank. That's the only way how you can handle it. So then next comes the shipment. JB experts, once the LC is ready, I'll start producing the product. And once the goods are ready, then I'll, as per LC terms, I'll produce all the documents to the bank, which is my SBI bank. I'm not going to deposit any documents directly to ABC bank. It has to go through my bank, which requires like submitting all the shipping documents, bill of lading, invoice, packaging list, photocopies, etc., etc. That we'll discuss in the later slides. So what I'll do is I'll collect all my documents, set of documents as per the LC terms. I'll go and submit it to my SBI bank. Soon I get all the documents ready. And that has to be very short time, because if you delay the document submission to the bank, then you'll be having a challenge with your payments coming to, because you delay it here, they further delay it in the payments. So that's something which you need to avoid. Then comes the bank verification. So SBI Bank is going to check all my documents and forward it to ABC Bank, United States. So it's not going to send it to the importer, it's going to send it to the importer's bank. Then bank looks towards the documents, verifies all of it, and transfers the money to SBI Bank, and which credits back to JB Experts bank account. So the whole process of LC is simple. It's going to be exactly the same. You get the informations, you do the contract. Based on your contract, you ask the buyer to get a LC. The LC comes to, the draft comes to your bank account, then you are informed, then you go and approve that LC, and then that LC is being drafted completely. Once the LC number and everything you receive, then you start working on your production. Once your production is ready, you will ship the goods. Based on the LC terms, you collect all the documents, put it into a file, drop it to your bank, and then your bank will verify the documents and send it to the buyer's bank. Then once the buyer's bank verifies it, it will send the money to your bank, and later that will be credited to your bank account. This is a very clear structure. Any LCs, this is what it's going to be worked. Any type of LCs, doesn't matter. Okay. Why choose this LC, which is irrevocable LC? Basically the thing here is you cannot cancel or modify it. That's a main advantage. I don't want to compromise on my pricing. If buyer wants to pay me later, like, okay, I'll pay only $200 instead of $200,000. He can modify the LC. Then the value of that LC goes down by, it's almost like peanuts, right? So instead of that, he can compromise on he can change the quantity, he can change the company name, he can change the conditions, or he can also add a lot of documents that I cannot procure. So that could be the possibility that the company wants me to put me into trouble. So in that cases, it's better you work only on irrevocable LC. It cannot be cancelled or it cannot be modified without your informations or without your concerns or approval. So this is the best LC. Do not work on revocable LC. Anything is irrevocable. Okay. And then JB Experts gets the payment upon submitting the documents correctly. Once it's done perfectly, then I am out of it. I got my money. I can start the next trade. So this is how simple the LC is. I'm not going to lose any money, but here I'll be not getting any money in the advance case. What I'm going to do, it could be a 10%, 15% combination of other LCs. You can do a combination saying that 20% advance and rest 80% is going to be paid by LC. So even that combination works in any kind of LCs, but the thing here is anytime whenever you're getting the LC, it should be irrevocable LC, because without your information, because you're putting your raw materials cost, you're putting your labor cost, you're putting your time and money, everything going to it, and later you get to see that there is a modified LC where your prices are being modified, then you're going to take a hit. So work on irrevocable LC so that your bank cannot change or your party cannot change anything in that without your approval. So next is the confirmed LC. So which is an additional guarantee. I don't trust a bank. So here what we are betting here is I'm not trusting the buyer because I'm trusting the bank here. Now in some cases what happens, the Bank of Congo or some other banks, you name it, I don't trust them, or Himalayan Bank in Nepal or some other banks, XYZ banks. It could be your choice saying that, okay, you had a bad experience or something before, so that's a reason you are not going to trust them. So what you're going to say is, it's almost the same like irrevocable LC with the confirmation of an additional bank, that is HDFC Bank. It can be Standard Chartered Bank or any other bank who can guarantee you saying that, okay, I don't trust your bank, so I want a guarantee of someone else. So normally how it happens here is, whenever you ask for a loan, where normally the bank guys will ask you like, okay, can you get the sign from a guarantee? If you don't pay it, he will pay it. That's a signature of a guarantee in your loan cases. But in LCs, what we do is, I don't trust the buyer because I think I'm going to LCs only because I don't trust the buyer because he may default my payment. One is that. Second, even now when I see that, okay, this is the bank which is coming into the picture, but even I don't know about it and I have gone through a couple of articles which says negative about this bank. Then I'm like, okay, even I don't trust this bank too. So in that case, what I'll ask the buyer is, you get me a confirmed LC from guaranteeing that HDFC guarantees the LC. Only then I can work. Because you need to put the conditions on the table, or else people, the clients or customers, what you call, they are going to play around with you. So be careful on that. Never take any shit from your clients. Please make sure any deals happens before should be very clearly mentioned. Only then you need to work it around. So confirmed LC is an additional protections that says there is some other bank is going to guarantee you. Okay, in LC is how it's going to happen. Your buyer is going to pay you first. If your buyer doesn't pay, his bank is going to pay first. If his bank also doesn't pay you, then the confirmed LC, the confirmed bank is going to pay you. So it means it's an additional security. Every time do you need to do this? No, not really. If it's a good bank, a US's well-known bank, or any well-known bank of that particular governments, then yeah, you can go ahead. But if you feel that this country is unstable, for example, Sri Lanka had instability some years back, they were completely locked up. So in those cases, if you don't receive your money on the time, then at least get a better confirmed LC from some other bank so that you can work it around. Then XYZ import opens up the irrevocable LC through ABC bank, and then JB experts request saying that I don't trust your bank, get me a confirmed LC from HDFC bank, then to confirm the LC. So then HDFC acts as a guarantor here. If ABC bank defaults, I'm not saying the buyer, I am saying his bank also defaults, even in that case HDFC will give me a guarantee of my payment. The caution here is I am not promoting any of the banks here. It's just for an example. I don't have any direct relations with these guys. It's all just for example purpose. Okay. So JB experts ship the goods, submit the documents, and get the payment from HDFC bank even if the ABC bank fails. So this is very clear structure. If you have any issues with your buyer, you don't get paid, ABC bank will pay. If the ABC bank defaults, then HDFC bank will pay. You have 3 layers of securities. You don't need to worry on that. Okay. So why to choose this type of LC? If the country is unstable, the bank is not well known, it could be a cooperative bank, then in those cases, you want additional security for your LC because you're putting your money, your product, your time and energy to it. So you want to get it return. So there should be a return on your investments. So in that case, this is the additional security what you should prefer for. Site LC. This is like immediate, like cash on delivery. You submit your documents, you get your money. So here it's almost like similar, like everything is similar to irrevocable LC. The process is LC's process is going to be simple as I already explained. So this is instant payment. What I do, I open a site LC with a 50,000 worth of seafoods. I'll ship the goods. I submit the documents to SBI. Then the SBI documents, the SBI bank will check the documents and send it to ABC bank. Soon the ABC bank receives the documents and verifies the document. Everything is clear. They'll make an immediate payment to SBI bank. Then that later will be credited to JB Experts bank account. As simple as that. No issues here, no worries. All very clear, simple. You will be done with it. So one, why to choose this? Very quick payments. Submit your documents, you will get your payment. No delays here. And no waiting period also. Site LC is the safest and the fastest LC that you can use it in the international trade. There is something called as usance LC, which we call it as an open account. Like we give a credit to someone for 90 days, 30 days, 80 days or 180 days or something, then that also can be done in form of usance LC. So you need to you need to mention what is the credit term. For example scenario, XYZ imports wants a credit period of 90 days before paying JB Experts. Okay, because I'm going to send the goods, they want me to pay after 90 days. In that case, okay, I want the business to grow. Okay, I'll agree to it. But in that case, what I'll ask is, XYZ company opens a usance LC with 90 days credit terms. So once we have this 90 days credit terms, JB Experts will export the goods, submit all the documents to my SBI bank. Then ABC bank accepts all the documents from SBI and gives a note for payment after 90 days. On the 90th day, XYZ pays ABC bank, which is my importer, pays to his bank, and then which will be later transferred to JB Experts. Okay, what if he doesn't pay? The bank holds the guarantee, they need to make the payment. If he doesn't pay, then bank is on the stake. If you have the confirm LC, if you take extra protections, especially take an extra protection on this, say that, okay, if this board doesn't pay, then this bank has to pay. It can be taken as an extra confirmed LC upon this. So that is more practical. You can take any additional combinations with these LCs that can be worked with any banks. So work it around and then protect your funds. Okay. Then later it will be transferred to the JB Experts bank account. Okay. This gives a guarantee of payment even there is a delay. There will be no defaults. In open accounts, if I give a credit to someone in Dubai or exporting some certain agro products to Dubai market, I give him a 60 or 90 days credit, then he can abscond. He may default my payments, or he may not pay me. He may stop answering my calls. But when it comes to bank guarantees, if this XYZ payment is not done, ABC Bank will make the payment, because that is why we are paying them. So JB Experts gets the guaranteed payment without fail, even there is a delay of 90 days, which was agreed. It cannot like, okay, 90 days becomes 180 days. No, it doesn't happen that way. Maximum a variation of plus or minus 7 days is something what I call it as a standard, but rest everything is being managed. Transferable LC, if I am a middleman, okay, as a JB Exports itself is a middleman. So we are an export management company, and we also manage the import management company. So here in this example, JB Experts is acting as a mediator. Okay, we don't produce anything, but we are selling it. So what I do is I'll take a transferable LC. I'll source the goods from a manufacturer. Okay, we'll take an example as a terry towels. I'll talk to someone who manufactures the terry towels. I'll get the buyer and I'll ask him to give me a transferable LC. Okay, then what I'll do is the exporters gives me a transferable LC of $100,000, and then JB Experts keeps its profit and gives a local LC to a supplier in India who manufactures the terry towels. So soon he gets the LC. So he starts manufacturing it and supply the goods to XYZ importers and submits the document to his bank, and then that later that documents goes to the buyer's bank, and then the buyer's payment will be processed. Once he processes the LC, the transferable LC, the amount will hit to JB Experts account with $30,000 as the profit, and rest money $70,000 goes to the supplier directly, because I have transferred the LC keeping that 30% with my account and then moving $70,000 to the supplier. So here the supplier will get to know who is the importer is, because he is going to submit the documents directly to the bank. In that case, you will be a middleman without putting your upfront capital. You had made money first time, but are you going to make the money every time? Not really, because they are directly connected here. This LC, transferable LC, is normally works if we three are known people and we are dealing with one buyer. So buyer knows me, supplier, and the buyer wants me in the middle. Then that is how the things works on a genuine transfers. Or else the bypass can happen and you will be out of the business. JB Experts will now be a middleman. It will be out of the loop. Okay. Then back-to-back LCs for supplies, especially if JB Experts is dealing into buying raw materials. What we'll do, XYZ Importers is going to issue a irrevocable LC, and JB Experts issues a back-to-back LC. So what I do is I'll receive LC copy. I'll go to bank saying that, okay, now I got this LC. I want a back-to-back LC to my supplier, a local LC. So in that case, what happens? I'll open a new LC and I'll give it to the supplier. So supplier ships the goods to JB Experts, where it's not directly connecting to the buyer. Goods are going to be sent to JB Experts, then JB Experts is going to export to XYZ. Then XYZ is going to pay JB Experts, who then pays to the supplier. It's all LC which is automated. You don't need to do anything. Soon the LC is my LC is being paid. The further LC is being honored there. So that is how the whole thing works. It helps the JB Experts to buy goods without any upfront capital, and also keeping the XYZ company details away from the supplier. There is no bypass can happen. So this is very much important to work with. If you are a supplier, or if you are a middleman, or if you want to be a trader, then work on back-to-back LC that is being secured. The bank will ask for a collateral. The LC itself is a collateral. So you are giving me the LC based on my previous LC. There is no other collaterals here. If that LC is not honored, and this LC will also be not honored. So that's how the whole thing works. Standby LC. Okay, I have a buyer in United States. I agree to give him a credit of 30 days. Then in that case, there is a guarantee, right? There is a issue of saying that, okay, if I give it 30 days credit, will I get my payment? So in that case, there is something we call it as a standby LC. What JB wants is a guarantee in case XYZ fails to pay. I have a trust on the buyer, okay? But I don't trust him to a certain stage, like saying that, okay, I'll give a credit and later if he doesn't pay, then what? I'll be losing money. In that case, I'll call it a standby LC. So XYZ company is going to issue a standby LC. If the importer doesn't pay in 30 days, the JB experts can claim the payment from his bank. So I'll submit again to my SBI account. They will send the documents to the ABC bank, and it will ask that your importer has not paid us within the timeline, so we want to process the standby LC. We want to exercise the standby LC. In that case, the LC will be taken forward and your money will be transferred. Backup in case of payment failure. This is a most secured. You want to give credit? No issues. You can go ahead and give credit. But get at least a standby LC so that if your buyer defaults, you get paid. You don't have any issues there. It's from a bank to bank transactions, so there is a legal obligations from country to country, bank to bank, and that's a whole system works on international front. If something goes wrong here, you can still go to the court and get it filed, because here it's not the problem just of your importer, it's also of the bank who has agreed to pay you if the buyer defaults. Now the buyer has defaulted, the bank is not paying, you can sue both the people so that you can get your money out. So normally you don't need to do that. Standby LC itself will be honored and it will be executed. So this is very safe transactions to deal with. Revolving LCs. When I have something to supply every month, I don't want to open like multiple LCs, keep getting a draft, approving it, doing all submissions. I have to do the submissions, but I don't want to get into saying that, okay, every time don't need to get into a new LC or a new LC copies. What I have to do, it's a revolving LC. So it says like, okay, back to back. Whenever you're sending a new thing, your LC is being getting covered. So every month I'll be getting paid of $100,000. What I have to do, I need to export the product, submit the documents to the bank, and get paid by under same LC number. The same LC will work for me. The same LC will work for me. Keep getting my payments again and again, back and back on the same thing. So that is revolving LCs. These are normally for a long-term contracts where I get paid on monthly basis. I submit the documents on monthly basis. I get paid on monthly basis. So whole rotation, shipment, everything will happen every month. There is a minimum commitment. If I promise the buyer saying that for a whole year, I'm giving you a lock-in pricing at this price, I want a revolving LC, you can ask for this and keep getting it. So there is no something called as, okay, out of the box kind of a payments. You get the payments directly from the LC. Whatever the charges are there, that will be paid by the buyer. Okay. Ideally for long-term contracts. Red clause LCs. So can I get a advance payment in this? Yes, you can get. So there is a certain percentage. For example, in this case, XYZ wants to import something. Okay, I'll issue a red clause allows JB experts to withdraw 20% of the LC value. How do I do it? I submit the document stating with the request letter. It's not a document. I don't call it as a document. I call it as a request letter stating that to my bank, saying that, okay, this red clause LC is allowed me to take 20%. So I want to take 20% here to my bank account. I give the request to my SBI bank. Then SBI bank will request to ABC bank, which is the importer's bank. And then that bank will honor it and send the money to SBI, and later that will be deposited to my bank account. So once the whole cycle of this completes, then I'll start producing the material, because normally if this is a situation to get your packaging materials, if you want to get the the package, because it's customized orders, I have to get the packaging materials. I have to get it only for his name. I have to print his logos, everything customization is there. If something goes wrong, if later he doesn't pay me or something goes wrong there, then at least my packaging material cost is with me, right? In that case, what I'll be allowed is, if that is $100,000, I'll get $20,000 upfront so that I can procure the packaging materials and ship the documents after, and then submit the documents required as per the LC term, submit to my bank and get paid for 80% of the balance payment. That is something like, okay, if you want, you can take this LC only when you need advance for your packaging materials or something. And then this is something we call it as advance with the combination of LC. That also can be done in Red Clause LC. So this works very well. You can check with your banks, they will provide it. You can ask the buyer, because many of your buyers will be not educated about this. You can educate them and then help them to make the payments through this, so that you have a complete transactions happens under LC, which bank to bank transactions will be taken care. For this, at least you need to have a robust banking service provider. If you have lazy bug banking, then yeah, God bless you. Green clause. So in this case, you can take some more money. You take advance as well as storage and as well as insurance. So basically, I am a handicraft exporter. So I'll be procuring handicraft product, but that will be not produced within one scheduled time. I have to take a warehouse. I have to keep collecting the material. Soon they are done. I have to keep storing. Once the consignment is ready, then I'll load it to the container and send it across. But to do that, there is a storage cost which is extra. Then I need to cover the insurance if something goes wrong with the warehouse where I kept the goods. Then that's a problem. So I have to, there is a fixed expenditures at the beginning. So what I say is, dear buyer, you know that I have to take care of the overheads. So I want you to give me a green clause LC, which gives me a advance payment, which covers advance, storage and insurance cost. So please help me with that. That could be anything between 20% all the way till 40%. Okay, you can ask more. That's again what is between you and your buyer. So based on that, the green clause LC will be issued. Then later, same process, submit the documents to the bank, and then the things will work forward. Usually this is for perishable or high value goods, because it's going to take time. You need to invest first, you need to manage the warehousing and the insurance, and then the things has to go smoothly. If something goes wrong, insurance will cover. If nothing goes wrong, then storage cost is already paid, packaging material is already paid, you have taken the advance, complete it, submit the documents, get your payment and enjoy. That's how secure it is. Okay, let's compare all the LCs here. Okay, this is the last LC thing what we can discuss. So let's discuss the use cases. LC type, payment timing and securities. Irrevocable LC is a high secure. It can be used in just after submitting your documents. It's a standard trade. In all the trades you can use it. Confirmed LC, if you want a additional bank guarantee, then you can take it. It's a very high security, because you're not just asking the buyer's guarantee, you're asking not his buyer's bank guarantee, you're also asking an additional bank to guarantee my payment, so that your payment doesn't go anywhere. So if you just want to mitigate the risk, then this is one play to play. Site LC, if you want an immediate payment or quick payment, very high secured, but yeah, you submit your documents, you get your payments done. That's it. There's no other clause here. Usance LC, you want to give a credit from 30 days to 180 days, get it. Medium risk is being covered here, but you'll get your money paid, no issues. If there's just a delay, but you'll get it paid. Transfer LC, if you're doing it as a mediator, then take a LC, put your commissions there, keep your commissions, transfer it back to someone else with the percentage that how much money the party should get. So based on that, you can transfer it. Back-to-back LC is ideal for the suppliers who wants to finance. Get a LC, take a LC back-to-back and then give it to your supplier, so that once you get paid, the buyer also get paid. So that's how it works. But in this thing, the supplier will not get to know who's the buyer is, and the buyer will not get to know who's the manufacturer is. They both know you in the common. That's it. Then standby LC, if you don't trust the buyer says that he's going to pay me payment in 30 days. If he doesn't pay, then at least I need a standby LC. That's how it works. Then revolving LC, If you have a long-term contract, fixed commitment saying that every time I'm going to send a same amount of material for a whole year, then you can start working on revolving LCs. Red clause, you will get advance payment of 10-20%, and in the same manner, okay. Then in that case, red clause where you get advance payment for 10-20%, which is mentioned in the thing, you can ask for it, you will get the payment of advance payment, and then later when you submit the documents, you will get the balance payment. In green clause, it will cover shipping, storage and insurance, and then if you want that also to be covered, you can take the advance and then submit all the rest documents, you will get the balance payment. So this is suitable. Which is more suitable? Highly secured, work on revocable, irrevocable or confirmed LC. Revocable LC is not an LC. Don't even consider it as a LC because it has a too much risk. Don't work on revocable. One, irrevocable and confirmed LC. And quick payment is the site LC. If you want to have the financials, not putting your money up front, just getting the deals done, then back-to-back LCs. Then if you have a long-term deals, then work on revocable, revolving LCs. Okay. So let's understand the LC format. What should a LC should have? The LC number, date of issue, and what kind of a LC is it? Is it like usance with 90 days or 180 or 30 days credit? Site LC, submit the papers, you'll get your payments. Confirmed LC, someone else is also guaranteeing your payment so that the money cannot go anywhere. Then irrevocable LC, no one can edit anything without your thing, but normally people are going to use this, and I also recommend you to use this one. Standby LC, you don't trust the buyer says he's going to pay in 30 days. If he doesn't pay, then you can exercise your standby LC to get your payments. Transferable LC, keep your commission, don't want to put the money on the table, take the LC, transfer it to the supplier, then get your commissions in the middle. Okay. Expiry dates, that is to be mentioned because LCs are not something like long lasting until it's a revolving LC. Revolving also LC will also come with the expiries or a number of transactions. So based on that, you need to work it around. Place of expiry, the country who is going to issue the LC is going to be the place of expiry. Applicant, who is the importer. Beneficiary, who is me, who is a supplier. Issuing bank, the bank who issues the LC. Advising bank, the bank who receives the LC. Confirming bank, the bank who gives a guarantee, confirming saying that if your importer doesn't pay, if the bank also doesn't pay, then I will pay. That's a guarantee what I have. So that's an additional security. You can take it in such a manner that confirmed LC is like I have lended my friend some money. Now I tell his father that I am giving your son some money that I don't know whether if he doesn't pay you, I want you to be paid. Then he agrees to it. Then later I go back to my friend, buddy, you have taken the money, so I want it back. So then he doesn't respond or he doesn't give me. Then I go to his father, who is HDFC Bank, and ask saying that, so your son has not paid me, so I want you to pay it. So he will pay it. So that's how the confirmed LC, in a layman example, it works. Okay. Credit amount and currencies, that has to be mentioned in what currency, what's the amount, and tolerance is not something like I accept, but normally you have options to do it plus or minus. If your volumes are not so stable, if the prices are a bit fluctuating, that is something you can manage it here, but 5% is a less or more risky, so I don't really recommend you. Do not keep any tolerance in your payments. Okay. You need to be clear on your payment terms, site, usance, defer, like standby. You need to check what kind of a payment terms you are going to work on. And draft drawn on. So this is the bank who prepares the draft and send it to your SBI account. It could be any account, just an example as a seller's bank account. Okay. Draft tenure can be like site, LC, again the same thing will be mentioned. Shipping documents, the port of loading, port of dispatch, last date of dispatch, partial is allowed, partial shipment. In the saying that, okay, I need to export around 100 metric tons. Can I do it 20, 20, 20? Is it allowed or not allowed? If it's not allowed, then I have to do the whole 100 metric tons in a single shot transactions. I can't keep doing this like, okay, 20, then I'll submit 20 feet container, like 20 metric tons invoices or documents, and then later I'll be asking for the money. So that is not how it's worked. So if that is not allowed, then you can't do it. Transshipment is normally allowed because many times if the distance is far away, for if I'm calculating US, the container goes to Dubai, then later to African, and then take a site and then goes away, right? So in those cases, transshipment is normally allowed. So just check if that is something bit urgent, if that is has to be mentioned as not. If it's not allowed, then you need to pick a perfect route which gives you a direct routing. If that is not allowed, then obviously you want a, like there is a diversion, right? The prices can be calculated. So in those cases, if you don't want like a bus, a government bus who stops at every stop, right? But your Ola and Uber doesn't do that. They go directly to the point. So here in transshipment, it's like, is it allowed to stop it in every place, or is it like direct shipment? The route should be available, because you're not going to carry the container on your shoulder. It has to be done with a shipping company. The shipping company routes also need to be checked. Only then you can look for a transshipment allowed or not allowed. Normally it will be allowed. Okay. Then Incoterm, what kind of an Incoterm are you working with? What are the roles and responsibilities? If you are not sure about this, the already with the video on the topic is already uploaded. Please go and watch. You'll be having a knowledge on it. Then description of the goods. What's the name, HSN code, quantity, is it in what the unit you're going to use, metric ton, kg, liter, grams or something, or bags. And then comes the unit price, what is the price per unit, the total value that has to be transferred, and the packaging details. Is it in bags, and how many bags in a container, and how many containers? These all need to be mentioned. So till now I was telling you, you need to submit the documents to the bank, right? So what are those documents? For example, signed commercial invoice. So today I'm using a computerized software, so I don't need to sign. You need to sign it here. Don't use your smartness. Sometimes your computer or your digital thing doesn't work. So if they have asked you to sign the documents, please sign it, because that is the rule that is being agreed on the LCs. Just by not doing this, your payments will be delayed. Your bank will not approve the documents what you are given because it's not signed. So get it signed, put a seal and submit it with 3 copies of it, which is photocopies, what we call Xerox. Packaging list, saying that what's the weight, what's the dimension, how many boxes in the container, all of that. Then bill of lading. So, or airway bill. If you're sending through air, then you will get an airway bill, or if you are sending it to bill of lading, then you need to get the bill of lading. Okay. So you can also mark saying that, okay, is it like prepaid or to be collected? That is also something. Based on your Incoterm, you need to calculate this thing. Certificate of origin, that you will get it from Chamber of Commerce, or there are a lot of export promotional councils will provide you the certificate of origins. Trade certifications, like inspection certifications, normally you can get it from SGS, or a lot of agencies are there. So normally these are the popular one. So then you can look for it, and you need to mention when the certificate inspection has to happen. Only then you need to get it. Is it pre-shipment, post-shipment, production timing, packaging timing? So that needs to be mentioned. And then the insurance policy, based on what Incoterm you are working with, you need to get it covered for 110%. Why? 100% payment is your product value, but you have labors, packaging, clearances, additional cost, getting the product from your warehouse to all the way to the port. So there are a lot of expenditures which has gone in. So at least 10% of that thing to be calculated. Pathosanitary health certificate, if it's applicable. Beneficiary certificate is not what I agree upon normally, because beneficiary certificate is the certificate that you get it from your buyer, stating that he has received all the documents. How will he give me a beneficiary certificate when he have not received anything? I'm just submitting all of this to my bank, then this thing is not something which is applicable. I have to take this off. So be careful. That's the reason I kept it for example. You need to do not agree to some clauses that you see is a problem. Then discrepancy charges. If there is any, like, okay, I have not signed, then there is a discrepancy. Who is going to pay the cost for it? You have done a mistake, then you will pay. If the buyer has done a mistake, the buyer will pay. Or every time whoever the mistake is, the seller has to pay. That is also possible. So additional terms and conditions. Confirm the confirmations required, yes or no. Revolving LC is yes or no. Transferable LC, yes or no. Back-to-back LC, yes or no. Red clause or clean clause, mention what percentage is allowed to withdraw before doing the shipment. Then presentation period, how many days after the shipping you need to submit the documents, or within when. It could be 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, but put a practical date, because getting a BL may take instant will get it, but to get a physical copy in your hand, it will take at least 2 to 3 days based upon how far your CHA is away from you or your freight forwarder is. So they have to courier it, that has to come to you. So it will take time. So that is one clause. Then along with that, you also need to see, you need to prepare all the documents and everything has to be in the proper set, and then take a photocopies, put it signed, and then submit it to the bank. Once the bank, when are you going to do this? To complete this, I need at least 15 days. You can be overfast saying that, okay, I'll put it in 1 day. If something goes wrong, if the courier is delayed due to external factor, your payment will go for a toss. Because every day or every date what you mention here, that's important. Before submitting, you need to put a practical date, which can be like 15 to 20 days, meaning maximum. Okay. So within 15 to 20 days is like even 1 day is also within. So you can put that maximum timing, which is 10 to 15 days or 20 days. So you will safeguard your LC. Payment release. Upon verification of the documents, the LC, as per LC terms, you will get your payment. So you need to clearly give your beneficiary details with your shift code. Some bank will ask you like, okay, submit your IEC code, only then we'll give you this and all of that. Every bank will act very weird. So go and check what is the need. Go and visit your bank, talk to your branch manager, and then the things will process. Then comes the issuing bank, which is your buyer's bank. You don't have anything to do with it. So these are the key benefits. Covering all types of risk. This format covers all types of LCs. So this is the same thing, same details you need to check in every LC you're going to get, and complies with a complete international laws, allows all the required documents to ensure the payment securities. So this is the complete detail about LCs. If you have any doubts, please put it into comment box. Guys, I'm dropping a link in the description to join my WhatsApp community, where we'll be doing live webinars to discuss openly on the topics. So to avail that, please join our community, stay in touch, so that you will get a lot of insights which will be sharing on day-to-day basis. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button and share if someone needs it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.